For most electric guitar improvisers, the blues is probably one of the first things that we learn, right? Because it just seems very approachable, and let's face it, the guitar is like the instrument for blues. I'm talking about electric guitar. So if you're like me, then you started learning your first blues like this. Am I right? Yes. And when you go to jam sessions, then very often you see three guitarists on stage that play exactly this pattern. Does that sound familiar? Well, I'm not here to teach you blues here in this lesson. This is going to be a shorter one. If you want to have a full blues tutorial, then click on this link up there. This is my full-blown blues lesson that, we can learn all the blues elements that I show my students. Well, why should you even be listening to me? If you've never been to my channel before, my name is Ulrich. I've been a pro guitarist for 25 plus years, and I've played thousands of shows on over 3 continents. And I'm also the founder of Total Guitar Transformation, where I have taught hundreds of students my very practical oriented lead guitar approaches that are supposed to get you ready for the stage and help you to break down the masterful playing of guys like Jimi Hendrix, David Gilmour, Eric Clapton, Mark Knopfler, you name it. So I'm here to demystify the lead guitar learning process. And today I want to talk about the blues element in a non-bluesy context. Because what I have found is that a little bit of blues almost always works in any kind of improvisational context. And that is because the blues is so connected to the electric guitar that we just want to hear a guy blues out on the guitar. So today I want to analyze this a little bit and show you some principles or approaches that are actually theoretically wrong, but still work incredibly well in many contexts. I cover this in my LLG lead guitar method book. This is the layered lead guitar approach, and you can download this book down here in the description. And it's basically a summary of not only how to use this layer, but how to combine all 7 layers of this method for a confident and skilled lead guitar style. All right, let's dive right into it. Let's just say we're in a G Mixolydian context, right? So G Mixolydian, we know it's in major, it's melodic, it's soulful, but it also has a blues element in there, right? Because we got this sound here. We got this flat 7 sound. To better illustrate that, I'm just gonna put on a drone here, and I'm gonna just play phrases of G Mixolydian. And I'm gonna show you how it can cross over into blues. Yes. So in short, what you can do and what thousands of masterful guitarists have done before you is to take a Mixolydian vibe and throw in a little bit of minor blues in there, which will sound dissonant to a certain degree, but will just make your playing that much more rooted and connected. It's just going to give you some blues authority. I'm going to show you this over a backing track, and I'm going to tell you exactly when I'm strictly in the Mixolydian major vibe, and then when I'm crossing over in this minor blues vibe, where I'm playing just straight up blues licks out of the G minor blues world. And you're gonna start hearing that after a while, and hopefully you can implement this layer into your playing as well. I also call this bluesing out a chord change. Let's go. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, right? Do you see how this minor blues just gets the nice type of grit in there? And just, this is, you can't learn this in a theory book. I mean, this is something that you learn in a juke joint. And it's super important to cultivate that for you, yeah? So, you can't just randomly play the blues whenever you want. You want to resolve it, I think, back into the major. I think that's the important part, is that you play a blues phrase and then you land again on the major third back, yeah? So it's like a very clear voice leading kind of thing. And if I play... minor blues, and then I land again on the major third, yeah? Minor blues, landing on the major third, yeah? Inside of our TGT Academy, I also call this the minor-major resolution approach. It works really well, yeah? You gotta kind of figure it out on your own and let your ears guide you to a certain degree. But yeah, give that a try and cultivate your blues licks in a way that you can mix them with major vocabulary. And if you already downloaded this LLG method book, which I highly recommend, then you can strategically mix it with the other layers. I'm talking about the Hendrix chordal style. I'm talking about one string playing in any mode. In this case, G Mixolydian, let's say. I'm talking about the triad pairs, major triads, about sixths. So all this major vocabulary stuff, major pentatonic vocabulary stuff, and you mix in this minor blues over the same root. Yeah? So if you like in G Mixolydian, you have all these devices that are major, and then you play G minor mixed in. Yeah? So you can actually play here, if you think of G major pentatonic, you play the E minor pentatonic, which is G major, and then you can also play the G minor pentatonic. You play two pentatonics at the same time. If this was a bunch of mumbo jumbo for you, and you're still getting your head straight about all this, I want to assure you, this is as much theory as you're gonna need starting with me. This is it, basically. Yeah? But these devices are gonna help you to develop a workable approach, a skill-based approach, where you have those devices under your fingers. We don't have to think about it anymore. But your fingers are already knowing, I go for minor, major. These are all things that are in my muscle memory, and I don't have to theorize about it. I want you to get to that same place where it's just an intuitive process where you can just follow your instinct and the vibration of the music and just keep pouring out this beautiful melodic lines with just a little bit of blues salt mixed in there. You feeling me? Awesome. Well, I hope you got a lot of value out of this lesson. And if you're still here on the channel, then continue with this layer next.